Welcome to AI Pulse. In February 2026, the world of artificial intelligence didn't just take a step forward, it felt more like a quantum leap. In just 28 short days, we saw this incredible explosion of innovation, a real shift in global power, and some truly mind-boggling trillion-dollar questions being asked. So let's break down exactly what happened. To really make sense of it all, we're going to follow the story in 4 parts. First up, what I'm calling the Great Model Flood, just a relentless wave of new tech. Then we'll see how that flood sent these geopolitical shockwaves all around the world, which led to a trillion-dollar gamble on the future. And finally, we'll look at the inevitable aftermath. All the new problems that come with so much new power. All right, first up, the Great Model Flood. And really, to call the pace of new releases in February fast is, well, it's a huge understatement. It was an absolute downpour of new AI coming from all the biggest names in the game and, interestingly, some surprising new players too. I mean, just look at this timeline. It was an onslaught. The month kicked off with a double-header on February 7th. OpenAI and Anthropic dropped their powerful new models literally within hours of each other. And then, the very next day, ByteDance comes along and basically redefines AI video. But it didn't stop there. The hits just kept coming. Sipu AI from China topped the open source charts, Google pushed its most advanced model even further, and then Alibaba capped it all off with a model that was faster and cheaper, built for everyone. It was just non-stop. So let's zoom in on that ByteDance release, Cdance 2.0. Because this was a fundamental shift. While all the competitors were basically generating silent movies, Cdance was out here creating talkies. It generates video and audio together, creating perfectly synchronized sound right from the start. It can build a whole coherent story across multiple shots from just one prompt, and, get this, it can even generate accurate lip syncing in over 8 languages. This wasn't just another video model, it was a total paradigm shift. So, of course, all this new technology didn't just stay in the lab. The ripple effects went global, and they started reshaping the entire competitive landscape, really signaling a shift in the balance of AI power. An analyst at TS Lombard, I think, put it perfectly. He said, the China tech shock is just getting started. And just like that, the perception of a US monopoly on top-tier AI was, well, it was shattered. The whole conversation in February shifted from if other countries could compete to how they were already competing. And what we saw emerge were 2 completely different game plans for winning this AI race. On one hand, you have the US strategy. It's kind of like the heavyweight champion approach. Massive, super expensive, closed-door models from labs like OpenAI. China's strategy, though, is totally different. It's all about speed and scale. They're leveraging their manufacturing power to just dominate the low-cost open-source arena, getting these powerful tools into the hands of millions, and fast. And hey, this isn't just a 2-horse race anymore. February saw India make a series of huge power moves, basically declaring itself a major contender. They hosted a global AI summit that drew the world's top CEOs, they announced a staggering $100 billion investment in data centers, and they even launched their own really impressive model, built specifically to serve 22 of India's native languages. All this innovation and all this competition, well, it inevitably leads to the money. And in February, the numbers we were seeing were dizzying. It was a month where this staggering ambition met an equal dose of high-stakes anxiety. $280 billion. Yeah, that's the number that was floating around in February. The annual revenue OpenAI is reportedly projecting for itself by 2030. That one number, it captures the sheer, crazy scale of the commercial expectations that are driving this whole gold rush. But that's only half the story. To actually make that revenue, OpenAI reportedly plans to spend $600 billion on infrastructure. Just think about that for a second. The potential rewards are absolutely astronomical, but the price of admission to this game is just breathtaking. And you know who noticed? Wall Street. They got spooked. In mid-February, big tech stocks shed a combined $900 billion in value. The fear wasn't about AI's power, it was about its price tag. You had investors starting to worry that the cost to compete was just becoming unsustainable, with absolutely no guarantee of a return on that colossal investment. But here's the twist. While the public markets were getting nervous, private money just kept flowing. Anthropic closed an incredible $30 billion funding round. You had companies like 11 Labs and Runway also raising hundreds of millions. So it seems for venture capitalists, at least, that long-term conviction is still rock solid. Okay, so this brings us to our final act, the inevitable aftermath.
Because an explosion of accessible, powerful AI doesn't just create new opportunities, right? It also creates new problems and opens up brand new vulnerabilities we haven't even thought of yet. So the question becomes, with this incredible speed, what else is coming along for the ride? The answer, as we saw pretty clearly in February, is a whole new class of threats. And these threats became real, and they became real fast. Remember that revolutionary Seedance 2.0 model? Well, it immediately drew legal fire from Disney and Paramount for allegedly using copyrighted characters. At the same time, security experts started raising the alarm. Attackers were now using AI to find software bugs way faster than defenders could possibly patch them, opening the door to a whole new era of cyber attacks. But AI isn't just the weapon, it's also becoming the shield. On February 23rd, Anthropic launched a direct response to these new threats. It's called Claude Code Security, an AI tool designed specifically to hunt for the very vulnerabilities that other AIs are now exploiting. You can kind of think of it as an AI security expert that works 24/7. First, it scans your code, not just for simple errors, but for these really complex, dangerous data flows. Then, it verifies its own work to avoid false alarms. And finally, it actually suggests the patch, the exact code needed to fix the problem. It's the AI arms race in a nutshell, using the technology to defend against itself. Which brings us to our final and maybe most critical question. February 2026 proved that AI is accelerating at a truly dizzying pace. The attackers are getting smarter, and the tools are getting more powerful every single day. We're seeing defenders innovate too. But are they moving fast enough to keep up? That's the trillion-dollar question we're left with. Thanks for tuning in.